Anti-clockwise from junction 3 at the M20 and clockwise from junction 29 at the A127, but all the surrounding routes are extremely busy, especially the A13 and the A2. Then also on the M25 there are delays of about 45 minutes anti-clockwise from junction 27 at the M11 to 25 at the A10 where a car has overturned. Also on the M25 traffic's being held clockwise at junction 16 at the M40 after an accident. There are severe delays on the approach.
Basically, in a nutshell. Good morning, everybody. So it is Monday. That's right. Got into work this morning nice and early. Thought I'd get to the yard, need a light fixed on my lorry, and get loaded and get to Battersea nice and early. However, the lovely no oil protesters have decided that they want to go and sit on the Dartford crossing, which has caused absolute mayhem. I haven't moved for about 45 minutes. This is probably going to be the first little bit of movement that I've done since that time. And as you'll see in a second, I'm not going far. Probably about 2 car lengths I just got there. So it's going to be one of those days, guys. Not sure there's going to be to see. I don't think the bridge is going to be cleared anytime soon. I think where they are, the protesters that is, they're almost impossible to get to without causing any sort of serious risk to life. So it's just going to have to sit here and wait. It's going to be one of those days. It's now, what's the time? 7:20. I left the yard at 5:15 and I've done about 2 miles. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you soon. Hopefully I'll get a little bit further. I might catch up with you in 3 hours when I actually get to the yard or something, but we'll see how it goes. See you in a bit. So I got about 1/4 mile since basically 6 o'clock this morning. It's now coming up to 11:15. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting day for sure. I literally have to go about 1/2 mile to get to the yard where I have to get my light bulb fixed, and then I've got to go probably about 1/4 mile where I get loaded, and then I've got to try and get to Battersea. The bridge is shut. The Dartford bridge is shut. The Blackwall tunnel, there's been an accident, so that's shut. So I don't actually know how or what way I'm going to go to get there, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, as of the moment, just sitting here, keys out, handbrake on, engine off. Here's what it is. Good old no oil protesters. So welcome back, guys. It took me over 5 hours to get to the yard, which is about a 4-mile drive, maybe 5-mile drive, and I'm just leaving there. I've just got my light fixed, and heading to go get loaded, which is just around the corner. Now the traffic around the yard seems to have died off and all gone. There is a helicopter overhead filming what can only be explained as the knobheads that are on the bridge still. They are, well, you've seen in the pictures, and apparently they're going to be there for 24 hours. Now that means tomorrow I'm also going to be messed up, so it's going to be an interesting couple of days, and by interesting I mean annoying, but it is what it is. It's one of the things you have to deal with being on the roads, especially this day and age. Protesters. Hey ho. I mean, I've calmed down a bit, but earlier I was really fed up with them. I just think it's so inconsiderate, but then something needs to be done. They're right in what they're saying, but there are better ways to go about it. To inconvenience the normal working man is just stupid, because you're not getting anyone on your side. If anything, you're causing more pollution by keeping a load of lorries and cars still. And will the government listen to this? You kind of got to think, if they give in to such protests, that means that when there's another protest, what are they going to do? They're going to do exactly the same thing. Therefore, you kind of got to be tough and not give in to prevent this from happening in the future. So they might think that they've got a good idea by causing this disruption, but really what they're doing is going to be ineffective, because you can't be seen to be being weak and giving in to them by causing this disruption, because then you're showing to the rest of the country that if you've got something to protest about, then you just go and shut down an entire economy by closing the bridge. And not an entire economy, but it's going to be costing millions. Every hour they're up there, it's causing massive inconveniences to businesses, and yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'll show you in a minute when I get in here. You'll be able to see probably the closest I'm going to get to the actual protesters. It's not a bad little angle. I'll show you what they're doing. They've got a banner across the actual bridge. Don't actually know how they managed to do that, so that's quite impressive, I must admit. They've got a banner going from, because there's two of them on each side of the cables, and they've managed to get a banner going across. They are engineers apparently, so I'm guessing they've figured that out prior to it quite strategically. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I am finally moving. I'm going to go get loaded. I've got to get to Battersea, which is going to be a pain, because usually I would go over the bridge down the A2 and into London, but everybody's going to be going to the Blackwall Tunnel, which is the way I'm going to have to go, which means it's going to take me a good 3 hours. 8 freaking hours. That's right, 8 hours to do 6 miles from Tilbury to Purfleet. Now, I don't know what you guys think about these protesters, but personally, I'd say lock them up and throw away the king. No. It's one of those things, it's just so frustrating. So I understand the calls, and I understand they need to make their point, and the only way they can do it is by doing stupid things and getting those publicity. And in a way, I'm probably helping them by doing this video, but I really don't understand the thinking, the thought process of disrupting the working man that has no power to change anything about the thing they're protesting about, rather than going to somewhere like Parliament, the House of Parliament, where most people do protest, and disrupt the government's day, so they will listen. But apparently to disrupt the working man and get the rest of the country not on your side is how you work it. Not too sure about that one, guys. Maybe try a different approach. Maybe go to the House of Parliament. Maybe just try. So, who said that being a lorry driver wasn't fun, hey? I mean, it's not like it's taken me 13 hours to do one job today. I mean, some people might think, hey, what's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that is that the job that I went to do was 20 miles away. So yes, once again, thank you, no oil protesters. So, after just shy of a 15-hour day, we're finally back at the yard, all parked up, and apparently they're going to be there again tomorrow. It's going to be another interesting day for you guys. I'm not sure there'll be so much to record tomorrow. I mean, how much can you do with recording traffic? But we can only hope and pray that tomorrow is a better day. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you on the next one.
Good morning, I'm Morgan. I'm a civil engineer from London, and this morning I have climbed up this cable of the QE2 bridge over of the M25 crossing the Thames. It's been really difficult. All we've had to grip onto this cable are some rope slings and our legs. I'm willing to do this kind of thing because I'm not willing to sit back and watch everything I love burn for the rest of my life. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening, and the current fraudulent charlatan excuse for a government we have here is accelerating that process, granting more licenses for oil and gas. It's an absolute act of treason. It's selling all of ourselves and our children into an uninhabitable earth. And I believe it's my duty to do anything in my power to stop it. So my friend and I have climbed up here today. I'm going to stay here until the government makes a meaningful statement that they will end new licensing and consents for oil and gas extraction in the UK, and that they will start an emergency transition to renewable energy that we need, funded by the fossil fuel companies and the rich. We're out of time. Please join the resistance. You don't have to climb a bridge, but any simple act of disobedience would just stop oil. We're meeting daily at 11 AM. Any simple act of disobedience that you can do is all that we have left to force our criminally negligent government to take basic steps to protect our country, our people, our land and our future. I'll call back later when we got settled in.
I could go out in the darkness I hear you shouting, hear you calling, but it's not the same. Every word that you are throwing right into my back doesn't matter to me, cause I'm keeping my track. Let me go, let me go, let me go. Stop